Good morning. Welcome to Gretchen's Garden and Greenhouse. We have another beautiful sunny day here in June, and we're going to be doing a little bit of planting today.
And here's what Gretchen is going to be planting. Well, a friend from Mississippi, David, sent us a gift certificate and thanks for doing all these videos. And we thank you. And with that Burpee gift card that he sent us, we ordered some things, including these plants, one that you're going to see here in just a little bit. But the best thing of all is we've got these cutters. And I got to tell you, I don't know where they get them and where they have them made, but they're the best we've ever had in our lives. They're just phenomenal. Anyway, the other thing is, notice this bench. We'll talk about that more, and it comes from our buddy Dick Shaw, who also watches the channel. You'll learn more about that here in a few minutes. But let's get to planting these, and I think Gretchen already has the raspberry planted, and she'll show you what we've got going there. Let's walk on over to the raspberry patch. I'll carry these for you, Gretchen.
Well, first we're going to take a look at what we've done in here. We have been trying to grow blueberries for several years, and our soil is just too alkali. They just don't do good, no matter how much acid I put on them. So my next plan is, at least these first initial ones we'll get rid of, and we're going to put black raspberries. Black raspberries are one of my favorites. The problem is they are very thorny, and I had some in my home in Coeur d'Alene, and I loved them, but they were so thorny to pick. My kids can attest to that. And so all these years, these 30-some years, I've been looking for thornless black raspberries. And lo and behold, Burpee's has a thornless black raspberries. And it's Niwot, it's Niwot black. And so I got one. The plan is to allow that to grow and then lay the branch out, cover it with soil, and it will root there, and so we'll start plants down the road.
Do some propagation that way, huh?
Yeah. The only problem is I'm feeling like I'd like to have them sooner, so I might order a couple more.
I kind of thought that might happen.
So now what we're going to do is go order or plant in order. First are two little lobelia. They're little red lobelia, and they're different varieties.
Which one is that? Or are they
these
both?
are the lobelias right here. They're little.
That's a lobelia, and then...
This is a lobelia, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they're different varieties,
Okay,
so they look a little different to you.
You got some kind of a bush there too, don't you?
Yeah, then we'll plant that later.
Okay.
But as you notice, these don't have a real deep green. It's because they've been in a box being shipped. But they'll green up and look good, and we'll take a look at their roots as we plant them. My plan is to plant them right over here. I kind of have a spot here that's got a couple of vacant spots. So now make some fairly nice sized plants. So I'm gonna come over here and we'll just dig some spots. Look at our clematis, it's going crazy. I probably need to prune that back a little bit. And some pretty good soil, it looks like. Last summer, my grandson and I did some work on this part of the flower beds. And we came in and put a bunch of topsoil in. Okay.
You want me to grab those two
Yeah,
plants
will
for
you
you?
hand me those plants?
I'll hand them to you one at a time. I still got the camera too.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me get the other one.
Yeah. Those are
Oh
good
boy,
roots.
talk about a good root system there. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. You're gonna buzz, yeah, you're buzzing those up a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah, just fray them out a little bit. It causes them to expand. And I want the level to be about the same level as it was in the pot. So about like that. That looks good.
All those plants you got from Burpee, Gretchen, had really good root systems, at least so far. We're going to find out in the next couple.
Yeah. There's a cocosmia that'll grow there, and it'll be red too, and those will go really good together.
Oh wow, look at that
Look at
root
that
system.
one.
Oh my
Woo.
goodness.
That one's almost root bound. Starting to,
Well, you'll get them tore out there a bit and it'll go crazy.
yeah. Yeah, no problem with the roots on those. Yeah, one of the things you always want to do, as I've said before when we've been planting, is to water things in really good. That looks like a cosmia that didn't sprout. Huh. I had a bunch of them in here and moved most of them to
Let me
another.
hand you the water here, dear.
Yeah.
While I'm filming at the same time. It's heavy.
Oh yeah, it is
go.
heavy. Woo! And it always says 2 or 3 inches of water. Now, how do you measure water if it's not in a container? Okay, there we go. So now we're going to go plant this little bush that I've got. Where I'm going to be planting this, it's called a Winecraft Black, and it's a Cotinus, Cotinus. And I love the color of the leaves, and it's a bush, and it's supposed to get 60 inches tall and maybe 3 feet wide about. We'll see. I'm not familiar with this, so I'm going to have to go around this way. As you can see, I've got our hazelnut here, and I've got a vine there, and this is our little cinnamon apple tree. So what I want to do is space this in kind of this blank area here. So I want to get a little ways away from that vine and not too close to the tree. And I think this looks pretty good here. Let's see how my moisture content is. I know back here is this particular part of our yard doesn't get as much water as I'd like it to, so I lots of times set water. Yeah, see, that's pretty dry. I'll turn the water into this today and give it some good water. I think as you go down deeper, see there's some moisture down in there, so once it gets its little roots going, it should be okay. That has pretty good root system too.
Looks pretty good too.
They don't show up as much because
They're brownish colored,
yeah.
but yeah, I can see them there.
They're about the same depth. There's a clot there. I'll break it up a little bit. Once you get down past our topsoil we've moved in, we do have a lot of clay in our soil. And the only way that you can loosen that up is just continually put good compost, and we've put chips, a lot of things in here that just kind of breaks up that clay, but it only goes down just so far. So put our little thing there. I'll probably get a bigger name tag and put in. And now we'll give it some water. I'm gonna give this
It's a
guy.
cute water can you got. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, this is a new purchase I got this year. That other one is so heavy. I love it, but and I have it so it just gives out a stream. And sometimes you want it a little diffused so it's not quite so hard on the plants. And I want a little less weight to carry, so I got this, and it does a good job. So that's it for our planting today. Should we go take a look at the microgreens and show people what's happening there? Well, I'm back in raised bed number 1, and as you can see, our spinach is starting to bolt. So, but it still has some lovely leaves, and it's still really sweet. So I'll pick some, and we'll keep it for some for eating fresh. But I think this is more than Elk and I can eat while it's fresh. So I may try freezing some. I've read about that, and then you can put it in soups and smoothies and stuff like that. Moving on up, you can see that all of the rest of our microgreens are starting to bolt too. It's the heat. So I'll be taking a trowel. I think I'll have to have a trowel, but let me see how this is going to work. And we'll just reach down here and start pulling. That works. And pulling them up. And I will put these in the compost bin because they're nice green.
No, that's good stuff for the compost.
Now, while I'm doing this, Al's working on another project down at the other end on his walking onions. So we'll go down there and see what Al's doing.
Okay, what we have going here now is walking onions, and they're doing what walking onions do, is they're preparing to fall over and reseed themselves and walk all over the place. Well, I don't want that. So I'm coming along and cutting them off and putting them in the garbage. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, why is he putting them in the garbage? You should put them in the compost. Guess what these seed pods do in the compost bin? We've already tried it. You grow one heck of a crop of walking onions in your compost bin. Kind of a mess to get rid of though. Anyway, so all I'm doing here is cutting these off with the shears, pull them out, and then I'll come along and pick them up. And of course I'll continue that until they're done. But that kind of gives you an idea of what we've got going here. Well, with this project out of the way, I have another edging project, if you will, or trimming project. The onions won't travel, but something else travels. That's this doggone grass edge. Now I'm just going to grab this spot right here because it's handy for the camera work, but you notice how the grass grows into the dirt. Well, what we do is cut an edge along with a shovel and lift that encroaching grass out. And we have to do this at least once every year. And what I end up with now is I can do one of two things with this. I can break the dirt off of it and put it in my waste bucket, or I can save the bundle, and we've got some places where the grass has died, and I'll use it to transplant grass. But either or, this is a lot of work standing up here, and as I've gotten older, doing this project is a lot easier if, let me just set this over here. If I sat down and my good friend Dick Shaw happened to remind me of a couple of things. We have the bench, and this is a tool I swore I'd never use again. And, well, never say never. Because anyway, I can do this project really easy with this short military shovel and this bench. And I'll just sit down here and I can dig that edge along there just fine while I'm sitting down. And now that I'm in my 8th decade, you know what? That makes a lot more sense. So thank you, Dick Shaw. I got several days work on this, folks, so we'll probably report on it at another time. Well, that's it for this episode of Gretchen's Garden and Greenhouse. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next week.
Now back to work.
Oh, slave driver, but I love her anyway. Back
Bye.
to work it is. Yes, bye now.